completing your ice cream takes about 2 minutes. It takes about 30 seconds to actually freeze, but it's frozen liquid nitrogen. Not through a machine, it's a hand process.
Mhm. So your ice cream starts out as cream and then you make it into ice.
Yeah, you could start as cream. Well, if we're lactose intolerant, you could start as coconut milk, almond milk. You know, that's some of the ways we come.
I know that considerable consternation was initially thought of by this board with the placement of the nitrogen tank, and of course we all know that nitrogen is an inert gas, of which most of which we're breathing today, and that the actual concern was that it was a high pressure vessel, and in fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was not really a high pressure vessel at all.
It's not.
And so there was no concern as far as fire or building department at that point in time, and I see that you essentially placed it in the middle of the store. Again,
Right.
could you just describe the size of that tank again?
That's a 1,500 liter tank. It's a 4-foot diameter by approximately 7 feet tall.
Okay.
It's the working pressure is 50 psi,
Right.
and it has redundant safeties on it, all in accordance with national requirements.
Okay.
How does that get filled?
It gets filled remotely. It's called a microbulk storage system. And what happens is a fill line and a vent line runs outside to the back of the store, and they come with a truck, kind of like an oil delivery. Plug it in and deliver and fill the tank.
Okay.
That's gonna happen in the back, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen at any place, but realistically, with that location, the road's very narrow. That doing it through the front would
Yep.
be a hazard to transportation.
No,
either way.
it
The
couldn't
back
happen
is
through the
clear. It just doesn't. That's the only place that makes sense.
And all deliveries have to take place in the rear of this
Okay.
building. Absolutely all deliveries. Nothing can stop on the street there.
Yeah, that street is
Right.
way too busy.
So how many employees will you have, sir?
They're all going to be part-time employees, so I probably think initially maybe, depending on when we open it, we're in the summer, probably 8 to 10 employees.
Working at the same time?
No. Working at the same time, only 3 or 4.
What kind of hours do you foresee for the establishment?
Well, it's not going to be open early in the morning because so it will be lunchtime. And this is not Main Street where you have a lot of late night traffic, so I don't know what the closing hours. 89 North is right there, so when things are going on at 89 North, I certainly want to be open when they let out from that venue. But other than that, we'll see what the demand is and what the foot traffic is.
Hours could be flexible and perhaps seasonal even, I suppose.
Yeah, in the winter time, there's going to be less hours.
Sure makes
What's
sense.
the primary demographic is actually 21 to 35-year-olds with family. In a lot of ways, this location works very good because it has easy access from the rear of the building for people to come walking with children. So that's really probably from, you get a little bit from the lunch crowd, then you get the after school, and then we'll see what happens later on in the summertime. You'll get people in, and even after the Patchogue Theater, when they have stuff going on. But other than that, if events aren't going on, we'll have to see how much traffic it produces.
Pardon me for this question being asked out of ignorance. I remember back in high school physics seeing the impact that nitrogen had on certain objects like hot dogs and so on and so forth. So this tank's going to be out in the middle of the room. Is there anything potentially harmful about coming into contact with it, touching it?
Well, okay, that's a good question. And I did I wrote a safety plan and did some research, and I went and looked at all the OSHA records, and like 80% of the accidents or greater had to do with asphyxiation. And what happens, they use liquid nitrogen to inert, like when they're transporting milk or something. And usually when it's in a contained area, it displaces oxygen. So if things aren't properly ventilated, people come in, they don't even know they're breathing it, So if you displace oxygen, that's the dangerous. As far as coming in contact, in 10 years of Subszero, there's been, you can get frostbite, but with this process, nobody's, and it's not instantaneous. You can put your hand, one of the things we do as demos, put your hand in it, and splash in it, and it's okay because it's called the leader frost effect, where it boils like water on a hot griddle, and you're really never coming in contact with the liquid. So it takes about 30 seconds before you start to feel cold. And then you feel cold very quickly. But it's more than enough time to move your hands.
Based on your layout that's here, though, it does appear that somebody could just be standing there almost leaning up against this tank. Is that,
Yeah, it's a stainless steel double-walled vessel. One of the things that Subszero has found is people like to come look at the tank, but
yeah,
no, there's really nothing that's going to happen.
I seem to recall from your first application that part of the whole idea here is that folks are gonna wanna see the process. as it's
Absolutely,
happening.
because what happens, when you see the coal, you're not really in the vapor. What you're really seeing is condensing water vapor. You're not seeing nitrogen. That's not nitrogen. So that's part of the show. And there's lights in the counter, the accent. So besides being a good product, because flash freezing makes very small crystals, very creamy ice cream, you also get this great visual effect. So it's a show. And plus, one of the things we do, part of the corporation, is to do science demonstrations, go to the schools. And they've now changed the signage from Subszero ice cream. It says Subszero Delicious Science. I'm sorry I had my signs made already.
do you have any additional storage anywhere, or just whatever's within this footprint of the building? Is it
Just whatever is
no
in
basement or anything?
There's no basement. This is on a slab, which makes it really a lot easier than the other location for the tank, because that was a problem. It was not on a slab. But I don't have a lot to store. The refrigerator and the freezer. You see a three-door freezer, two-door refrigerator. That's where most of it's stored, in that back storeroom. Paper cups and bowls.
How often do you anticipate getting nitrogen deliveries?
I hope every day. It depends on demand,
Okay.
I'm told the busy store is, so peak season, probably 2 or 3 times a week. But they'll come early in the morning, before there's traffic. The LN2 company delivers, they're the same companies that deliver CO2. That's another part of their business. So they traditionally come before business hours and do their deliveries.
Okay. And other than that, other deliveries, does that usually come by UPS? Is it?
No,
How do you normally get the liquid portions of the business?
from a local vendor, and again, that would be depending on the vendor. I don't know what their delivery is, but I would think it would be again in the morning before the store opens. There's a lot of those supplies. There's a major supplier for us, the ice cream components, if you will.
Right.
Ratio, and that's what we plan on using.
So it's your choice what ice cream components you use? It's not a franchise kind of requirement?
Right. There's as far as the creams, the add-ins, it's just locally available. They've been working on some proprietary flavorings, so those would come in UPS.
So basically, it's the process that they're.
It's the process.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was the process. It's the patented process.
Okay.
And they've been much more successful than any other LN2 frozen ice cream. Most of them use like a mixer, and they dispense LN2 into the mixers, and those mixers are like $15,000 a piece, and they're slow, and you can't make as many different flavors because you gotta have a big changeover. This is just mixed in a bowl by hand, so if you want to change flavors, you pour it into a bowl.
Interesting. How many people will you seat in the establishment?
I think the drawing shows less than 20.
You have 26 seats shown here.
Is it?
22, 26.
I don't remember.
26.
There's a restroom in the.
Yeah, there's a handicap restroom that the landlord is providing.
Okay.
That's, the handicap restroom is already there, and it's shown on the plan. That's pre-existing.
And are you you'd be sharing a dumpster with the other stores? How are you handling dumpsters? I know that we have a team dumpster approach in these buildings now, so are you going to be using somebody else's dumpster? Are you getting your own dumpster?
Well, we haven't discussed it, but I saw there's a dumpster there in the chain link area, and I knew I was familiar with the team approach, so I assume that's what we would be doing. I don't
Okay.
see
I'm
any
sure
point
Joe
bringing
Brandy
in
will
another dumpster.
contact me and stuff, right?
Yeah, Mr. Brandy will stop and see you about a dumpster. We do have them corralled now in specific areas, so, you know, it takes up what it takes up and not anymore, so it's either the use of somebody else's, depending on your output, and or getting your own, but it will all be housed in the same corral.
Yeah, I think that's pretty full there, so it's probably a community dumpster, I would imagine.
Right. Okay. Hours of operation, did you go through that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it's gonna vary by season and
Right.
vary by events going on in the village.
Mhm. Okay, that's fair.
You're building this new storefront, or is that existing?
The landlord has an active building permit right now, and he's doing, he's subdividing the property, redoing the storefronts, making rear entrances, doing the bathrooms, doing all the HVAC, putting up, he's giving me a white box, so, basically, I'm just adding petition walls.
Anyone else have any questions? Anyone from the audience have any questions? This truly is a reaffirmation of the previous application. We have something like that on our agenda, but in your case, it actually fits. There there not being anyone coming forward from the audience to speak for or against the application, and the applicant has met, I believe, all requirements and has answered our questions. And again, we've thoroughly gone through his application in the past as far as the business and the procedures and policies thereof, and this is simply a move to a new location. So, based on that, I would entertain a motion from the board.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the application subject to Suffolk County Board of Health approval, Architectural Review Board approval of any proposed signage, and with this condition that all deliveries be made to the rear of the premises.
Okay, motion by Mr. Weeks, can I get a second? Second by Mr. Mitchell, all those in favor?
Aye?
Any opposed? So carried.
I have just one question, the signage has already been approved by the architectural review board.
There you go, moot point then.
Do they, so they don't have to approve it again?
No, I'm
No.
sure.
Well,
If-
it's,
Oh,
The
you
signage
mean
was
the-
approved at the other location,
Okay.
right? All right, we're gonna have to somehow get that sign and
Mhm.
show them what it's gonna look like on the new building.
I can carry the sign.
So-
But if you're for
Just
it,
give me
yeah.
a call, we'll figure that out.
pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, now the sign is already made, so.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck again.
Thank you.
You get this one done, all right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.